Well, greetings and welcome back to the Bond Geek channel. I, of course, your host. My name is Henry Stevens, and on this episode, very much so for me, this is my little tribute to, in my opinion, two of the greatest film producers of all time, Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson. I grew up with James Bond and I got into the world of James Bond through their movies. My first film, as many people know, was Goldeneye, and to this day I think we are so lucky to have them as the shepherds and the stewards and the carers of the James Bond franchise. There are so many other producers out there who are, in my opinion, nowhere as good, or even if they have some success in the belt, they, I think, could potentially butcher and destroy what makes the James Bond franchise what it is, and which makes me feel even more grateful that they're the ones in charge of the franchise. I wanted to do a video here to really celebrate Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson and the reasons why I think they are such great producers. And do you know what? I'll just add this in here as a bit of an extra thing. One of the things I always hoped one day I could do, and you never know, I might, putting it out there in the world, you never know what might happen, is I would love to interview Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson, or even just one of them, and just talk about their time in the James Bond industry and just the behind the scenes stories and like the pressures they've been under and just the stories and getting their insights. It would, to me, be an absolute dream, but I'm just putting that in there for the benefit here. But as I said, this video is well and truly about Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson, why I think they are the greatest producers of all time in the modern day, and why we're so lucky to have them looking after our James Bond franchise. But before we get into that, everyone, can I ask already, if you haven't, do give us a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out. And if you want to listen to this episode on the go, whether it's on your journey to work or you need something to listen to while doing the dishes or going to the gym, you can listen to the Bond Geek podcast, available on Spotify and YouTube podcasting. So with that all being said, let me get into my first reason why I think they are just amazing producers. I really want to start off with this story. I really want to just dive into something that just for me signals how great they are. It's from listening to many different people being interviewed on podcasts or listening to documentaries. Just hearing about how they work with people is, to me, in my opinion, the greatest way a producer can. Yes, it's their project. Yes, it's their story. But when they bring in people to direct, they really see it as a collaborative effort, and they want the directors to put their print on James Bond and do their thing as well. I think one of the greatest stories actually for me was I was listening to an interview with Lee Tamahori, director of Die Another Day, and he had this idea about extending the car chase sequence, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not sure what's going to happen." They looked at it and said, "Yeah, let's go with it. How much it will cost? Yeah, by all means." I think Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson are very well known for being extremely collaborative and working to make sure the director gets what they want for, effectively, their James Bond film. Not many producers really in the modern world do that. They like to take more complete control, but Barbara and Michael are still part of that regime where they allow the creatives to be the creatives. Yes, they hold the keys to the money purse. Yes, it's their overall baby and project, but they do see it as a collaboration with people, and it's something I think that's very rare these days and something that really should be celebrated. And again, I just wanted to start off with that as one of the main reasons why I think they are fantastic producers. But you need to now go back and look at their history just to see as well the amount of success they've had. They started with Goldeneye all the way up to now the current No Time to Die, and will do Bond 26 and beyond. And you just only need to look at all the success and the prestige that their films have got. They have managed to keep this long-running franchise going and keep it at a high, critic score, audience score, and box office. That is not an easy challenge to do. If you think that is as easy as it potentially could be to make these James Bond films and keep them as successful and as well loved as they have been doing with the Bond franchise, to me, I'm very sorry, but you're kidding yourself. We as the audience members, and I know a little bit because I did film production, a bit of film production time in my earlier years, we know nothing, the amount of stress, the amount of control, the amount of talent that you need to pull off the level of James Bond films, and they do it, and let's be fair, to a degree, again and again and again and again. Their batting average is so incredible, and it's so fantastic to see that they still can do it. And again, Can you name me another producer, probably outside Kevin Feige, who has this level of prestigious and great response and just, I think, knows the talent and knows the property so well? One of the things as well that I think we've heard a lot about when it comes to Barbara and Michael, again, to our delight, and we should be more grateful for it, but also to our annoyance slightly, which I'm getting into, is their commitment to quality. Second best is not acceptable for those two. They always, every film they make, whether in the Bond franchise or outside the Bond franchise, has to be this certain extreme high level of quality that they know they can achieve. And again, it's that sort of commitment to doing something like that which I think is truly incredible. When they have taken over the Bond franchise, a bit more than say what it was in the Cubby years, and this is not a gripe, at all, but they've had a much more sort of a commitment to great story and character development for every character, James Bond and all, in their films. They really have, and it has shown on screen, and it's allowed so many new potential angles and possibilities within the James Bond franchise, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more a bit later. And again, surely just from us talking to each other, that to me is again just one of the things I absolutely adore about them, is the fact that they are so committed to creating the most ultimate, greatest potential movie of all time, every single time, whether being a Bond film or not. That sort of level of commitment and care brought into every single thing, it's just, that to me is just absolutely incredible. There's no such thing as like, well, that will be good enough. It's like, no, it's got to be 100% every time, and I think that is again another incredible thing about them. Now, let's be fair as well, on the other side of that flip, there is the thing about, because they take so long time in creating this ultimate greatest film of all time, it does mean that we're waiting a bit longer for these next films to come out. But again, you've got to look at the flip side and the positive side of this. And now, I'm going to hold my hand up here. Full disclosure, I want Bond 26 now. I feel I've been waiting, I desperately want it. But the thing is, I know that when I'm waiting, they are behind scenes really crafting, in their opinion, the most ultimate version of what Bond 26 could be. And that's what still keeps me excited and motivated going forward, because I really do believe they are so hard at work at it. It is absolutely just, it's going to be amazing. I'm pretty 100% sure about that. Now, I want to circle back just very quickly to that innovation thing I was talking about. Throughout their tenure as producers of the James Bond franchise, they've constantly tried to reinvent, innovate, try new things, not just do the same old thing. Now, sometimes, yes, we do want the same old thing to a degree, the tropes, the style, the humour, but they've always tried to put new things in to really energise Bond and say it can be more than just this. And again, that is also very difficult to do. Now, the prime example of that is very clearly the Craig era of Bond films. They really tried to go out and do something new. But even in the Brosnan era, they were trying to do things like past loves with Bond. Bond, the fact that he can get injured, he truly is human. The fact that Bond can make mistakes. You know, all these sort of new ideas, and going, you know what? We're going to play with these ideas and we're really going to exploit them. Because that's one of the things I really wanted to say about their innovation and exploration when it comes to them being producers on their films. They don't normally half-ass things. They go, right, we're going to do, I don't know, Bond has a daughter. Let's really examine that. We're going to have Bond die at the end of the film. Okay, it's going to be controversial, but let's try and make it the best version of it we possibly can. Or we're going to do something where Bond meets a past love. We're really going to explore that because it's never really been shown before. Again, another tribute to them, the fact that they're brave enough and bold enough, in my opinion, to do something like that. Now, the final thing is sort of outside them being film producers. It's something that I don't think gets spoken enough about them, but they're amazing philanthropists. They really are. They work with so many charitable causes and do so many great things to help support and encourage people in the film industry and to help so many charities around the world. It's not something they really scream about. It's not something that they really share, but it is out there for you to see. And to me, they really take their prestige like, we have been lucky in life and we want to make sure we're giving something back and something to help the next generation. For me, that is something, again, just another reason why I really do admire them. I think they're absolutely just amazing people as well as film producers. They really go that extra mile with absolutely everything they do, and it's do you know what? It's something to look up to. It truly is, in my opinion. Well, everyone, that is my reasons why I think Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson are some of the greatest producers of all time. They've gone through so much in life. They've had to take over a franchise that was so successful from from Barbara and Michael's father. They've kept it going to great critical and commercial acclaim. The stuff they do out even outside the Bond franchise, the fact that they're willing to really be collaborative with the people they work with, the fact that they're willing to experiment and do new things. To me, all of this stuff is just ringing, oh my god, these people are incredible. And when you really think about it, let's be honest, we're glad that some people like this are looking after our beloved James Bond franchise. I think they're absolutely amazing people, and I reiterate what I said at the beginning of my video. What I would give to just interview them. Just interview one of them at least. I would love to meet them in real life. There's so many things I'd like to thank them for. It's incredible. I think they're terrific producers, and I think we really need to just reevaluate a bit and just say, you know what? Let's be grateful and lucky that we've got these two on our team. I really do believe that. Everyone, my name's Henry Stevens, and I'm the Bond Geek. Goodbye.